You think you've nipped it in the bud, it's got this habit of coming back and biting you on the bum, and basically it goes on and on and on.
Tony and his colleague Chris Powers are looking through the local car ads. They're convinced that the trader will try to sell the blue car they'd seen him with that morning.
It's going to be on the last page, you can guarantee. Got it. Vauxhall Cavalier, 1.6L, 1989, finished in metallic blue, factory-fitted sunroof.
In an attempt to discover if the trader has clocked the car, Tony will send Chris undercover as a prospective buyer.
Saw this morning.
Tony has been in the job for 20 years, and not much surprises him.
One of the best clock cars I've come across is one that's actually sitting waiting on my desk to be allocated at the moment, and that's a Nissan that was sold through the auctions here in Birmingham. The car must have been a private hire car because it's done actually 362,000 miles. But I've just done a trace on it, and some poor individual actually bought it with only 60,000 on. It's lost over 300,000 miles. Amazing.
Chris and a colleague pose as potential buyers and phone the trader about the car.
Hello, I rang about the car a while ago. I'm ever so sorry it's took so long. I've had such a gate in getting here.
Tony must stay out of sight during the operation. He was responsible for catching the trader last time and would be recognised immediately.
OK then. All right, thanks. Bye. Tony, you're reading over.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I've just spoken to a youngish sounding woman. She said apparently there's a beauty shop with a drive-in at the side. Got to pull in there and the car's there. She's going to tell him to come down.
Yeah, receive that, Chris, OK.
Right. OK.
The trader, who can't be identified for legal reasons, comes down to show them the car.
No, you could have got... I should have phoned you earlier and told you I couldn't come.
So, keeping all fingers and toes crossed, we could be on for a good result.
I was late.
Armed with hidden cameras, Chris and her colleague pose as a husband and wife who are interested in buying the car. The aim of this undercover operation is to find out how many miles are shown on the car's speedometer.
What was that noise?
What it is, it's steam clean. I did steam clean, and it's just the fan belt's a bit dry, that's all.
How long have you had it?
6 months now.
And it's got 12 months MOT,
12 months
hasn't
MOT,
it, you
that's
said?
yesterday.
Hopefully, he will have given all sorts of lies about the length of time he's owned it, why he's selling it. Hopefully the mileage as well.
All right, can I sit in it?
Their luck is in. The trader allows them to take the car on a test drive.
Take the drive, right?
Another one thing I forgot to before I come out.
What?
It's the loop.
Yeah, here they come.
So the excitement doesn't get the better of me. I go here.
Chris and Richard stop around the corner to examine the car and radio Tony with the mileage so that he can check with the local car auctions to see if they have sold this car recently.
F273 CWD.
Can you just run a registration number through your little magic box of tricks for me? I'm interested in a Cavalier. Registration number F273. Yeah. Charlie Whiskey Delta. You've got it? Oh, when was that sold?
Just returning.
The test drive has established that the Cavalier is supposed to have done 76,000 miles.
Now, the $64 question, what was the mileage? 125,000. Pat, you just made my day. 76. 76. Yeah.
All right. Is the mileage right?
The brand new windscreen fitted as well. It cost me £115 about 2 weeks ago.
All right. Is the mileage right on it?
I would have thought so, yeah.
That's brilliant. You just made me day, Pat. Thanks for that. See you then. Bye. Bingo. It's clocked. How about that then?
We're going to have a look at these other cars now. And then we know where you are. Is someone going to be in here?
Pardon? I'll be in and out. Give me a ring anyway.
Yeah.
All right. We got a mobile phone anyway. We'll give you a ring.
Yeah, all right, cheers.
All right, cheers.
Bye.
The trader is also committing another offence. He's selling cars in private sales and hiding the fact that he's a motor trader.
If you bought a vehicle from him as a trade sale, if you drove down the road and it ended up that the car's a bag of nails and the engine dropped out, you can actually go straight back and say, look, I want my money back, and you'd be entitled to that. The law is on your side. Whereas with a private sale, your rights are very much restricted, and it's very much buyer beware from a private sale.
Tony needs to have a watertight case against the trader before he can safely move and spring the trap. He sets off to gather more evidence.
Midland Auto Trader, good afternoon. Can I help you?
The auto trader keeps records of all the cars sold through their magazine.
A computer system whereby they can run a disk through the system and it will tell me when a particular telephone number has been advertised and how often. Now, Lynn's very kindly run this particular telephone number through their system for me, and she's come out with, what, 3, 6, 9, 12, approximately 14 adverts there for that, the particular telephone number related to.
It's not uncommon for unscrupulous car traders to use false names when advertising cars for sale privately.
Mr. Smith, Mr. Ford, Mr. again, Mr. Smith.
There's somewhere in the region here probably 30-odd adverts, and all of these adverts, as far as I'm aware, relate to cars or telephone numbers that belong to and his associates.
John Lucas again, Mr. Smith again, Mr. Jones again.
You never know. Give me the benefit of the doubt, they might exist.
Thank you for calling Midland Auto Trader. How may I help you? Are you private or trade, sir?
It's building a quite a good case against certainly Mr. but certainly I would say Mr. is in it up to his neck.
Well, will you be having the vehicle photographed? Right. Is it a private sale?
It's a well-known fact that by clocking a car you can increase its value by anywhere up to £1,000, depending on the type of vehicle that's being clocked. In the last clocking case that we did, there was a Toyota that was clocked there by 100,000 miles, and it increased its value by £2,000, which, as you can see, for half an hour's work is a nice little profit, as they say. Makes you think you're in the wrong game, really. In 5 days to earn that. I'm complaining about the low wages I'm picking up. It's disgusting. Bloody car traders are out there earning thousands every bloody month, and I've got a mere pittance. 5 days bloody work that's worth, that's all. Cut. Normally, the only way you can tell if a car's been clocked is by looking at the general condition of it. You check things like the pedal rubbers, wear on the driver's seat, if the steering wheel's really, really shiny. That can be a giveaway sign about the fact that the car's done an exceptionally high mileage.
Tony makes his way to the local car auctions. He believes the trader is using these legitimate auctions to buy cars which he then clocks. To get more evidence, Tony and the team have to risk being spotted by the trader. After an hour and a half, Tony's careful surveillance pays off.
They've just left the auction with driving a little yellow Metro, which we're now endeavouring to pick up if we possibly can. Whilst he was at the auction, he's bought at least 2 cars. He's definitely bought one because he's
young friend who was with him actually physically got into the car and drove it out the car park. Yeah, that's the two cars following each other. Those are the two cars in question. It'd be interesting to see just what they do, so we'll endeavour to follow and see what happens. Their garage is just up this road. Now he's turning off, he's indicating left. Now that is to the garage. So we won't actually follow him down there.
A week later, and the trader has another car for sale, this time from a different address.
Hello, I'm just ringing up about the Ford Sierra Sapphire advertised in the paper.
To avoid detection, Tony has asked Judy to go undercover and arrange to test drive the car.
Right, and what's the mileage?
I doubt very much if himself will be there today. I think this is a ploy that he uses, is to get somebody else to sell the cars for him. They'll tell us some sort of story, hopefully, about why the car's being sold, if the mileage is genuine, how long they've owned it. And invariably it's a pack of lies, so it'll just be interesting to see what we're told on this occasion. So I think it's just a ruse that they use. A bit of poetry.
How long has he had it? 12 months, okay. And he's selling it because he's going to Germany?
Here we are. It's right opposite us, isn't it? OK, troops, on your way.
Received, and we're on our way.
Hello, I'm Judy.
Morning.
My friends used to tell me to come to see the car.
Oh, here he comes.
It's your son's car, is it?
Yes, yeah.
83,000.
That's it.
Is that genuine mileage?
Yes, I think it is.
They should be asking him now questions like how long they've owned the car for, why they're selling it, is the mileage genuine.
How long did he say?
It's a year.
A year.
He's got a lot of, he's working in Germany, so he doesn't need it so much.
Oh, it looks like the old man's taking him. Yeah, here they come. He's going to drive straight past us.
And has it been a reliable car?
Yes, very.
And off she goes. Yes, no problem. And he's paid no attention to us whatsoever as he's driven past.
Is it a good starter in winter?
Yes, no problem at all.
They tend to tell you stories like they've owned it for 6 months, 12 months, whatever, whereas in fact it was only bought from an auction last week. So that's an offence.
So put it onto the drive.
Judy's very good in these sort of situations because she tends to ask the name of the person selling the car so that she knows who to make a check out to. That's always good. She'll make up some story like, I've got to pay with a building society check, who do I have it made out to?
And would you have a building society check?
Yes.
And what name is that going to be in? Right, Mr. Okay.
So that's always useful because that gives an idea of the seller then. Obviously, unless they've got false bank accounts, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be to the person, to their real name. Yeah, they're finished.
Tony is getting closer, but the game of cat and mouse is getting more complicated.
At the end of the day, he knows the score. He's been through all this before. So I suppose you could say that perhaps he's trying to deliberately avoid detection by spreading the cars around and getting different people to act as sellers. He may be doing that so that he thinks he's fooling us. Who knows?
Tony acknowledges that the process of buying a second-hand car can be a minefield.
It's obviously worth buying one that's got a full service history with it. Although it has to be said that some unscrupulous people do falsify service history, so even that is not a 100% guarantee. But in normal circumstances, it would be better to try and buy a vehicle with a full service history from a main agent. You're probably going to pay more for the car, but in the long run, it's probably worth it. There they go. Just crossing the road now and going up towards the driveway at the side of his house.
A few weeks later, and the trader has advertised another car for sale. This time, Tony sends officers Chris Neville and Nicky Hartley undercover as prospective buyers.
Maybe the bell doesn't work.
Hello, just
Hi.
a bit
All right.
ballots this morning
Oh,
as
right,
well.
good timing.
I've got a full MOT on it as well. I put that long MOT, but I had the work done. It's various jobs done, the new brake pads and that, and drive shaft gates, so it's got full MOTs from yesterday.
At this stage, we don't know the mileage on the vehicle, and we don't know where the cars come from. So, but again, it will give us the chance to establish whether or not he's telling the truth. He's just told Nicky on the telephone that it's his girlfriend's car and she's selling it because she's having a company car. Well, we know that a couple of weeks ago he got a car for sale, and the reason that he was selling it, according to the advert, was because he was having a company car. So he's basically just sales pattern that he's using.
Was it just one owner it had before?
Yes, yeah.
So what, it's your girlfriend's and then one before that?
Yes.
So we're gradually building up a picture of basically the lies that he's telling.
How many miles has it done?
64,000.
Mileage genuine.
I presume so, yeah. It's the off condition of it on the side and that.
How long has your girlfriend had it then?
It is about 5-6 months, something like that.
Yeah.
So I've got on that.
He's selling it just having a new company car. He's owned it for 6 months, whereas in fact he's only had it for a fortnight. There they go. They're in the red Golf, just pulling out the driveway now. And it just looks like it's Nicky and Chris on their own. So he's letting them take it for a test drive. Because they're selling it from home, as supposedly a private individual, here he comes. He's just come out the flat. He's got a big paper sticking out of his back pocket, so I should say he's going to the bookies. He's obviously a gambling man. He's obviously gambling with his future, that's for certain.
Tony catches up with Nicky and Chris on their test drive and gets a very brief chance to look for evidence of the car's history so that he can establish the correct mileage of the car.
Because sometimes there's a sticker under the bonnet saying when the next service is due. I can't see anything. A new battery on it. The registration plate gives you the people who first registered, so we can actually get in touch with them and find who they supplied the car to. 064568, yeah, got that.
And we asked him if the mileage was genuine, and he said presumably, judging by the condition.
Said that before.
Did I?
Probably his catchphrase.
Yeah.
The legitimate traders were able to confirm that when they had last serviced the car, it had 77,000 miles on the clock. 10 months later, the trader is trying to sell it with only 64,000 miles. The car is well and truly clocked.
We went and parked up and had a good look at it.
It seems really nice, I really like it.
It's quite responsive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can I have a look at the documents you've got for
Yeah,
it?
okay. Didn't send him a lot, but I've changed because he was going to...
Car traders, masquerading as private individuals, never register the cars in their own name. Trading Standards advice is that if the name of the person selling you the car isn't on the registration document, walk away.
Took that hard brakes down before and failed on the brake light bulb, CV gator, and a rear tyre to the brand new tyre on the back.
Right.
There's your full MOT too.
You got that today, you say?
Yesterday.
Oh, yesterday.
Right.
This thing here.
So is this
One
the owner
previous
before
owner.
this?
Yes, yeah. And so the owner before that's just one person. They've got all the instructions for everything in there, everything. And then...
So your girlfriend wasn't listed down for this car?
No.
The story he's told is obviously a load of rubbish. I'd be very, very surprised if it was his girlfriend's car. I'm not even sure if he has got a girlfriend, to be honest. So I should imagine that's a pack of lies. It's the same with every car that these sort of people sell.
Well, I've just got another one I want to look at, which I'll have a look at this afternoon, but I am really keen on it.
Okay.
So what I'll do is we'll go and have a look at the other one now, and then I'll give you a bell straight away.
Yeah, that's fine, no problem at all.
If everybody was to religiously record the mileage when they sell the vehicles on the DVLC documents, then it would make our life easier, because it would be so much simpler for us just to tap a registration number into the computer system, and it'll tell us more or less straight away the history of the car relating to its mileage, and hopefully be able to tell us again straight away whether or not the car has been clocked or not.
Tony now has evidence that several cars have been clocked by the trader. He sets about contacting the unsuspecting owners to give them the bad news.
Hey, to me, you bought that car with 65,000 miles on the clock. Well, it's actually done in excess of that. It's one of a number of vehicles which we're actually investigating here in Birmingham, sold by a particular gentleman who is in the habit of turning the mileage back on cars. The other thing is that you may have paid more than the going rate for the vehicle, given the fact that it has travelled in excess of the mileage you bought it with. There is a possibility, and I only say possibility, that we may be able to assist you to get some compensation back. All right. Thanks for your help. Cheers then. Bye now. He's bought that car, 142,000 on the clock for 2.3. So he's wound it back to 65 and sold it for 3.2. That's £900 profit for about half an hour's work. I mean, you just can't have sympathy for people who deliberately flout the law. He knows full well that it's against the law to clock a car, yet he's gone ahead and done it. And he's only done it for one reason, that's to make vast amounts of money.
With police backup and armed with an entry warrant, Tony has enough evidence to put a stop to the trader's illegal activities.
The idea is just go in there and search the place for any documentation that he might have, which will help us to prove who he is and what he's been up to, basically. We've got a simultaneous raid going on at a friend of his. That's it in a nutshell.
I don't know which one of you is going to come to the door with me.
I'll go in the back, yeah.
Right, if you can go with Keith, please.
Yes, okay.
Back at the trader's address, things are not going well. There doesn't appear to be anyone at home.
Hello. This is Tony Barron from Trading Standards. I'm standing outside your flat at the moment with a warrant to enter it. I take it you're at work. I'll give you half an hour to get back, otherwise we should be breaking down the door. No, I'm afraid it's not. You know who I am? Yeah? Tony Barron, we've met before. Trading Standards. I'll give you till 9 o'clock, right? If you're not back by 9 o'clock, then there's a chance we may break the door down and enter anyway. Okay? You understand that? All right then, we'll wait for you. He's on his way. He hasn't done anything wrong, though.
No.
He said, is it a wind-up? Yeah, of course it is.
The second team of officers also move in to serve their warrant.
Hello, can I speak to the owner of the house or the occupier?
Speaking.
Is it?
After a conversation with the owner, Trading Standards were happy that this house had no connection whatsoever with the case.
Related to the sales of cars.
It's 9 o'clock, and after months of undercover surveillance, Tony at last gets the chance to come out into the open.
Wasn't a wind-up. Trading Standards, Tony Barron's the name. I've got an entry warrant for your premises there, right? That's it. It's yours. You know it's in connection with. It's in connection with a number of motor vehicles which have been sold from this address and various other ones around the city, and cars that have also got forced mileage indications on them.
In court, the trader pleaded guilty to 10 offences, including offences under the Theft Act and the Forgery and Counterfeiting Act. He'll be sentenced in the near future.
Del Boy fancies himself as a bit of a family man, that is. Whatever next on BBC One. Meanwhile, there's more vital advice from Delia on how to cook, including superb soufflés and custards that don't curdle, over on BBC Two shortly.
The festive season at Paynton Zoo, and tension is rising.
Gail, we love you, but you've got to sort your work out.
Family pressure mounts.
I think he sees me as a mother figure.
Some worry about the year ahead.
I don't look stupid.
Others face new challenges.
I mean, I love the smell of it.